Here's the thing about AI, it's never truly finished. The more conversation your AI handles, the more opportunities you will find to improve it. Today, we are diving into how to continuously retrain and refine your AI assistant so it gets smarter, more accurate, and able to handle even more of your incoming conversations. By the end of this lesson, you will have a clear process to address gaps in your AI knowledge, handle escalations due to low confidence or missing information, spot and fix issues like hallucination. Let's make sure your AI is always improving. When it comes to training your AI, your job isn't done after the initial setup. To get your AI to handle 80-90% of your conversation on its own, you need assistant to continuously retrain and improve it.
Okay.
This lesson is all about how to review escalation caused by low confidence or missing information, decide whether to add knowledge-based content, canned responses, or create a new intent. Then we will spot check conversations for issues like hallucination and address content gaps. Let's start with how to handle escalations. Sometimes your AI doesn't have the confidence to answer a question or doesn't have the right information to handle it. Here's how to fix that. Review escalation. Check the conversation that were escalated due to the low confidence or missing data. Identify what the customer was asking and why the AI couldn't answer it. Decide how to fill that gap. Does the question need a simple knowledge-based article or maybe a canned responses? So for example, what are your opening hours? You just add a web standard article. Does it need a canned response? For example, can I change my billing cycle? Add a pre-written or canned response. Or does it require a new intent? For example, I would like to upgrade to enterprise, then you create a new intent of its own on a chat flow. Now, let's check some examples. Over here, first of all, we have a series of conversation with Aura, and if you go under customer support, now we have a low confidence escalated issue over here. And as you can see, the customer asks, is there a way to use smart contracts with Fingini? This thing about smart contract is not there, so that's why she escalated with a low confidence issue. And it was right, because she didn't feel confident to do it, okay? And also the predicted message, it seems like there is no specific information available about using smart contract with Fingini. So here, if this is something that you cover in a knowledge-based article, because maybe smart contracts are something that you actually offer, but you never created a dedicated guide to it, you can provide down the response, and then you can create a canned response or an extended article. So let's write down an actual example on how you should reply to the customer first, and then what to do next. Now that I've got my quick response about how to create a smart contract, what I can do is using Aura AI within the inboxes to expand this response. So this is super helpful because it's not only expanding the answer based on the question and what I wrote over here, but it's also searching other points that are connected with your own knowledge base. So if you're covering in this response something that is already covered in your standard articles, then this would be helpful to generate a larger, a more practical response based on the different products that the user is asking about. Now, if you revise the answer, you can see that it's quite perfect in terms of the guidance and everything. So now I can use this in my editor. I can change the link over here. And here we go, I can send this out. Now, what can I do in order to train the AI to answer this well the next time? Now, you can create this as a canned response, but this might be also helpful for anyone out there searching in your knowledge base. So probably this would be something that you would provide as a knowledge base article. Now, within Aura AI over here in your inboxes, you can create an extended article draft. So based on the exchange, basically the question and the answer you provided, Aura will be able to create a draft of your extended article. This is so cool because it's saving you plenty of time, okay? So let's put it down under this collection. Now I can open the editor and this will be ready to be published. Probably you can remove a bit of this, but this is fine. You can add some screenshots, of course, to add more information on how to achieve this goal. But as you can see, this is great because it's helping your team to save plenty of time whenever the answer is not there. Now, whenever I'm publishing this, the AI will be immediately trained about using smart contract. And you can test it out. So now we are going to ask the very same question again and see how Aura will respond to this. And that's it. She just gathered the right information from that article we created with AI after responding with a brief response. and you're good to go. So this is how you treat the low confidence escalated tickets, such as this one. And the next time when a new customer is going to ask the very same question, it's going to respond automatically in this perfect way. So it's either a low confidence issue or a missing information. The way you would treat it is the same. You just build either a candid response or a knowledge-based article the way I showed you today, and you will be able to fix this gap for the next time that question is going to arise. Cool, so this is another scenario that we are going to cover today. Sometimes people ask things in a completely different way that you planned in your intents, right? So sometimes Aura cannot fully understand that question and try to provide an answer that is more correlated to a knowledge-based article rather than matching an intent. So in this case, the user asks, what if I finish my invoices for this month? Which is, is not proper English, or, it can be tricky to recognize the actual query. And so when Aura tried to provide a response, then the customer said, no, I have not available invoices in my Fingini account anymore, which was supposed to trigger the plan upgrade intent that we created before. Now, the way you can fix this is try to provide to the plan upgrade intent that was triggered in the proper way, and also a matching intent example with this question in mind. This way, your AI will be able to understand this kind of iteration. So this would be the best way to handle those intents that are not fully matched at the very first time, because maybe there was a slightly different approach in asking that question. Most of the time, Aura will be able to match the intents with very different kind of iterations, but sometimes it happens that the customer invents new ways of asking in a completely different way for the very same thing. So this is how you could fix that kind of gap in your handling.
All right.
Even the smartest AI can hallucinate, giving answers that sound convincing but are incorrect or irrelevant. To spot and fix those issues, you will probably go to your CSAT Insights dashboard and filter for responses marked as terrible or bad. Open those conversations and review what the AI said and compare it to what the customer was asking. And look for gaps or errors, such as did the AI provide an answer that didn't make sense, or was there a lack of accurate context that caused the hallucination, and fix the root cause. If the issue was due to missing content, create an article or candid response to fill that gap. If the issue was intent related, create or refine an intent to handle similar case better. Spot checking conversation like this once a week, ensure to catch and address hallucination before they become a larger issue. For example, I knew for sure that this question would lead to some sort of hallucination. Why is that? Because by having an article describing API access for custom integrations, which means that basically you can integrate with any software because it's a custom integration just by having access to the API, right? So Aura over here, even though like maybe Fingini doesn't have an integration with Customerly, Aura provided an answer to integrate Fingini with Customerly, and you can use the Fingini AI API for custom integration. And here's how to get started. It might be right, it might be correct, but in this case, if you don't integrate with Customerly or there is not such a thing, you can put it down into a knowledge-based article or a candid response. We do, for example, have a candid response with specific things that are asked for a specific integration. So if Customerly is not an integration yet, what we would do is we write down a candid response to say we currently don't integrate with XYZ. You can suggest the integration on our roadmap, for example, or on our idea. So this is how you would do it. We currently don't provide an integration with Customerly. Please add it to our roadmap. Now this is a candid response, of course, and once you save it and you use for training with AI, now if we're going to ask the very same question to Aura, this would provide the actual correct response. So when the user is going to ask the very same question, right now Aura is able to respond in the proper way. Now, as you can see, Aura provided this time the real answer that we currently don't provide an integration with Customerly. However, you can add it to our roadmap here. If you need a custom integration, you can use APIs to create one. So now this is a way better response because it's saying that we don't currently have an integration with Customerly. However, you can either add it to our roadmap, or if you need a custom integration, you can use the API. And if you're going to check the message over here, of course, it gathered the information from the very specific candidate response. This is how you would treat an hallucination.
All right.
And it can especially happen when you have longer articles with a lot of different informations in it, and probably sometimes the customer asks a variation of the features that you're offering or something else that it might be getting Aura to hallucinate. So in this case, you would be creating a new article specifically for that customer request or a candidate response that is going to shift the focus from what Aura found out and that led to an hallucination, and in this way you can fine-tune your model in a way that the next time the answer is going to be better. Now, to continuously improve your AI, you need a regular review process, and here's a simple plan. Weekly review. Check escalations caused by low confidence or missing information. Review your low CSAT conversation for patterns and gaps, and analyze monthly overall performance trends. Identify recurring issues or intents that needs refining. And after creating new content or intents, test them thoroughly to ensure they work as intended. By sticking to this review process, you will not only improve your AI's accuracy, but also expand its capabilities over time. Here's what we covered today. If a conversation is escalated due to low confidence or missing information, decide whether to create a knowledge-based article, a candidate response, or a new intent. Use a CSAT dashboard to spot low feedback conversation and check for hallucination or content gaps. Third, regularly review your AI's performance, weekly for specific issues or monthly for overall trends. By following these steps, you can continuously improve your AI's performance and get it to handle up to 80-90% of incoming conversations.
All right.
AI isn't just set it and forget it. With a clear process for retraining and improvement, you can keep your assistant sharp, accurate, and capable of handling more complex scenarios every day. If this was helpful, hit like button, subscribe, and let's keep building together a smarter AI systems. I'll see you in the next one.